Welcome to a new deep dive. We unpack fascinating topics using the sources you've provided. Today, we're heading somewhere truly extreme, really mysterious. Antarctica. It's not just about geography, though. We're diving into a world of whispers, unsettling questions, and frankly, some pretty wild theories.
Absolutely. And our mission for you today is to really explore one of the most persistent of those,
Yeah.
the Antarctic radio signal conspiracy theory. We'll look at the claims, this supposed and unexplained signal from deep under the ice, and we'll get into the explanations people offer. I mean, everything from ancient aliens to secret government stuff. And then importantly, weigh that against the scientific view. And also, why does this specific idea stick around so much?
Yeah, why does it resonate? Okay, so that landscape, that isolation, it really sets the stage, doesn't it? Let's get into it. Imagine the coldest, driest, highest, windiest place on Earth. We're talking ice maybe 3 miles thick in places, holding, 90% of the world's fresh water? It's this continent of just chilling silence. So desolate that, for some people, those international science stations, just a cover.
Exactly, a cover for something else. And right at the heart of that is this supposed anomalous radio signal. The details, they're often pretty fuzzy, aren't they? People talk about detections maybe late 20th, early 21st century, usually deep under the ice or near stations like Vostok. And who detected it? Well, military intelligence maybe, or covert groups, or even scientists whose work got buried.
Okay, so what about the signal itself? What makes it supposedly stand out? Why isn't it just, background noise or something natural?
That's really crucial to the whole conspiracy narrative. It's described as non-natural, having an intelligent or highly structured pattern, not just static. It's supposedly on weird frequencies or modulated in a way that suggests, encoded information. And here's the real kicker. It's thought to come from miles under the ice, deeper than our known tech could easily operate. Plus, it's supposedly repetitive, consistent, not like a temporary natural event. If that were actually true, well, that changes everything.
Right. If it's real and not natural, then what is it? What are the big theories proponents offer? What's the hidden truth they talk about?
Well, it usually breaks down into 3 main buckets, and they often kind of blend together. First, and maybe the most dramatic one, something not from Earth at all, the cosmic presence idea. This suggests maybe an advanced alien ship crashed there millennia ago, now buried. The signal is a beacon maybe, or a distress call, or just leftover power. Antarctica's isolation, the ice, is the perfect place to hide something like that, undisturbed for ages.
Or the alternative alien theory is an active base, hidden down there, established long ago or maybe more recently. And the signal is just their routine chatter or energy output.
Exactly. Their purpose could be anything watching us, mining resources, maybe planning something bigger. It's a way to answer that Fermi paradox, where is everybody? By saying, well, actually, they're right here, just hidden. And this often connects to those ancient astronaut theories or secret space program narratives.
Okay, so that's the alien angle. What's the second major explanation?
The second one brings it back to Earth, but to our distant past. The pre-Ice Age civilization theory. This imagines Antarctica wasn't always ice, that it was temperate, maybe home to a civilization like Atlantis or Lemuria, but with technology far beyond ours. In that case, the signal isn't alien. It's from their leftover tech still running. A power source, a communication system, maybe a data archive humming away.
And that connects to those claims about seeing structures under the ice, right? People point to satellite images or radar showing things that look like pyramids or weird geometric shapes. So the signal becomes proof that those aren't just rocks, that they're artificial. It challenges our whole timeline of human history.
Precisely. It suggests maybe history isn't linear, that we've risen and fallen before. And then the third main theory, the terrestrial elite. This one says the signal isn't alien or ancient human. It's from a massive, top-secret underground base built by us, or at least powerful modern governments. A black project. Could be for anything, really. Super weapon research, like HARP systems sometimes get tied into this. Or maybe a doomsday bunker for the super-rich secret resource extraction, or even studying captured alien tech or artifacts they found down there.
And this is where things like the supposed Nazi base 211 come in. That whole story about them developing flying saucers in Antarctica, and Admiral Byrd's comments after Operation High Jump in 46-47 about enemies flying pole to pole. People see that as proof.
Exactly. Byrd's comments, often taken out of context, are used as sort of veiled admissions. Maybe he saw Nazi tech, maybe alien craft, maybe even, an entrance to the Hollow Earth. But whatever the source, aliens, ancients, or all these theories agree on one thing. There's a massive, deliberate cover-up by global powers. The motive could be preventing panic, controlling technology, maintaining power, rewriting history, or guarding some strategic asset.
Okay, that's a lot of speculation, but what do the people who believe this actually point to as, evidence, beyond just the existence of the signal itself?
Well, the evidence isn't usually traditional proof. It's more about reinterpreting official data or events. Those alleged anomalous structures under the ice are huge. People see shapes in satellite photos, ground-penetrating radar data, even glitches on Google Earth. They'll point to things that look like pyramids, or the so-called Antarctica anomaly. For believers, that's direct visual proof of something hidden.
Right, the visual proof. And historical events, too, like you mentioned Byrd's Operation High Jump. With what, over 4,700 people, 13 ships? That scale seems suspicious to proponents, too big for just science, they say. So Byrd's vague warnings become hard evidence of encountering something hostile.
Absolutely. And then there's Lake Vostok, this huge freshwater lake buried under miles of ice, isolated for millions of years. Scientists are drilling towards it, that's true, but conspiracy theorists see that scientific mission as a cover for exploring an alien base hidden in the lake, or maybe finding remnants of that lost civilization, or even unique life forms that could be the signal source.
I've also heard people talk about warm spots seen from satellites, or energy signatures interpreted as heat from hidden power sources. And then there are the whistleblower accounts, people claiming to be ex-military or intelligence saying they know something.
Yes, those accounts pop up. And interestingly, the Antarctic Treaty System itself gets viewed with suspicion. It was signed in '59, dedicates the continent to peaceful science, bans military activity. Sounds good, right? But proponents see it as the perfect tool for control, a way to restrict access, manage information, and cover up secret operations. Those strict entry rules. Not environmental protection, they say, but security for whatever's hidden. And of course, looping back, those old stories about Nazi expeditions to New Swabia, maybe building Base 211, developing advanced tech. It all feeds the idea of a hidden source for this signal.
Okay. That lays out the conspiracy side pretty thoroughly. So now let's bring in the counter-arguments. What does mainstream science say about all this? What's the skeptical take?
Well, the absolute fundamental issue, scientifically speaking, is that there's no verified anomalous signal. Just flat out. There has never been a single confirmed, peer-reviewed, independently verified detection of a signal like the one described persistent, intelligent, anomalous coming from Antarctica that defies known natural explanations. There are natural radio missions down there, the Aurora Australis, lightning strikes, the ionosphere interacting with the ice sheet. These create radio noise. It's often misinterpreted, or sometimes it's equipment malfunction, or even, unfortunately, deliberate hoaxes. Science demands extraordinary evidence for extraordinary claims, and for this signal, the evidence just isn't there.
Okay, no confirmed signal. What about the structures people claim they see in images, the pyramids and anomalies?
Yeah, those images circulate a lot, but experts, geologists, imaging specialists, they almost universally identify these as digital artifacts. Things like errors from data compression or just natural geological features, mountains, rock formations, things that look weird because of the perspective or shadows, those pyramids, usually just mountains that look vaguely pyramidal from one specific angle. It's called the Matterhorn effect sometimes. There's no actual proof of artificial structures buried there.
And Admiral Byrd, Operation High Jump, that huge mission.
It was a large expedition, yes. But the official records, the historical consensus, show no evidence of battles or encountering hostile forces, alien or otherwise. They faced incredibly harsh weather and logistical problems, which explains why they left earlier than planned. Byrd's later comments, often taken completely out of context by conspiracy writers years later, or they were rhetorical remarks about the geopolitical tensions of the Cold War era, not literal descriptions of flying saucers from the pole. And serious historical research has really debunked the idea of a functioning secret Nazi superbase or their development of anti-gravity tech in Antarctica. It's a persistent myth, but not historically supported.
So the Lake Vostok drilling mission isn't some kind of cover-up operation?
No, absolutely not. It's a completely open international scientific project. Scientists from many countries are involved, studying the lake for unique life forms extremophiles, organisms that live in extreme conditions, and to understand past climate from ice cores. Their findings. They're published openly in peer-reviewed scientific journals. It's transparent science. And the Antarctic Treaty, far from being a sinister cover, it's actually seen as a major success in international cooperation. It's genuinely designed to keep the continent demilitarized, protect the environment, and foster peaceful research. Those regulations are necessary for preservation.
Okay, let me push back slightly. For someone who's already distrustful, wouldn't a big international agreement in open science itself look like the perfect cover? How do scientists counter that level of deep suspicion?
That's a fair point, and it gets to the heart of why these things persist. The way science counters it is through transparency and reproducibility, making data public, publishing methods, having researchers from rival nations working together under the treaty. Think about it. Maintaining a secret of this magnitude, aliens, ancient cities, secret superbases for decades, involving thousands of people from dozens of countries, many of which don't always get along. The logistical challenge of keeping that secret, preventing any credible leak, is just astronomical. Someone, somewhere, would produce undeniable proof if it were real. And those whistleblower accounts we mentioned, they always lack that independent, verifiable proof. No documents, no corroborating testimony, nothing concrete.
Right. So despite the lack of scientific evidence, despite the logistical impossibility of the cover-up, this theory is still incredibly popular. It really endures. Why do you think that is? What's the appeal?
Antarctica itself is just such a powerful symbol, isn't it? The last true frontier on Earth. It's so remote, so vast, so largely unexplored beneath the ice. It's the perfect blank canvas for us to project our wildest ideas onto. Secret bases, hidden worlds, ancient mysteries. It's the ultimate unknown.
Yeah, I totally get that. The allure of the unknown, the forbidden, the idea that there are huge secrets out there, maybe deliberately hidden by governments. It's captivating. It taps right into our basic human curiosity, right? What's beyond the horizon.
Exactly. And you couple that inherent curiosity with a background level of distrust of government, sometimes distrust of science itself, especially after things like Cold War secrecy. Suddenly, the idea of a massive cover-up doesn't seem so far-fetched to many people. If science admits it doesn't know everything about Antarctica, maybe some geological puzzle or weird ice formation, that gap can be filled with, see, they're hiding something.
And the sheer scale of the what-if is huge too, isn't it? I mean, aliens, lost super civilizations, the implications are world-changing. So even if it gets debunked, just thinking, but what if it were true, is incredibly powerful and exciting.
It really is. It speaks to a kind of yearning for something more profound, maybe.
Yeah.
A grander narrative for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And using real history, like Byrd or the Nazi expeditions, even if totally misinterpreted, lends it a thin veneer of credibility. It feels anchored in something real.
And now with things like Google Earth, satellite images being so accessible, people feel like they can do their own research, find these anomalies themselves. It gives them a sense of agency, like they're uncovering the secrets the powers that be don't want known.
Definitely. Ultimately, for a lot of people, the idea of, alien bases or ruins of Atlantis under the ice is just, well, it's far more exciting, maybe more meaningful than complex geology or atmospheric physics. It adds a layer of cosmic drama to our world.
So wrapping this up then. The Antarctic radio signal conspiracy takes this incredibly desolate place and turns it into ground zero for Earth's biggest secrets.
It really does. It suggests this mysterious signal is the smoking gun proof of aliens, or a lost golden age of humanity, or some vast secret government project deep under the ice. And central to it all is the idea that this incredible truth is being deliberately suppressed to maintain control, hoard power, or prevent chaos.
But when we look at the actual science, there's just no credible evidence for that anomalous signal. There are mundane, natural explanations for the phenomena proponents point to, yet the conspiracy theory thrives. Its power seems to come from tapping into really deep human feelings, our fascination with the unknown, our anxieties about hidden powers, and maybe that profound wish for answers about who we are and where we fit in the universe.
Exactly. So as you think about Antarctica, that vast, silent continent, consider those whispers of a hidden signal. Is it just natural noise, maybe wishful thinking amplified by the internet? Or, as the theory insists, is it a faint echo? A persistent hint of a truth so enormous, so potentially destabilizing, that it has to be buried under miles of ice, hidden from the light? The answer, for now at least, seems locked away. But that captivating what if, it definitely keeps echoing in our collective imagination.